Hello there, YouTubers. Here we are. This is part one in the new Advanced Tactics series. A New Dawn is the mode we're playing here. You can see the graphics here look a little different than the vanilla. That's because I got a graphics mod in here, compliments Ormond, and the guys over there at the Matrix game. In the forums there, you can find those guys in there all the time, and those guys are always developing new scenarios for this game. I mean, there's some really good scenarios in there, and some really cool looking projects in the works they're working on. There's a guy on there that's working on a Fire in the East scenario. I mean, it's going to be huge. If you're into that kind of thing, I think that one might be a little too much. Or I don't know. I'm not that much of a grognard that I've really wanted to play Gary Grisby's Fire in the East, so I don't know if I'd want to go down that road. This is the map I decided on after generating a whole lot of maps there. Let's take the grid off here for a minute so you can get a little bit better look at it. Yeah, I generated probably around 20 maps or so before I decided on this one, and I just got tired of generating maps. The country the regime I'm playing is called the Confederates. You can see right there. Let's put that grid back on there. We'll zoom back in here. This is the initial setup that comes up. All of the other countries on this map are going to, and they're going to be placed in their city. They're going to have the same units. All these AI controlled countries over here. Over here we got Nippon, which is like they're Japanese. The Emirate of Bahrain. They're going to be Arab peoples. Burgundy, they'll be French, and I guess that's it. There should only be three other guys. You can see on the mini map over here. You can see like there's Burgundy right there. Burgundy has this one random city over here too. When I generate my maps, I try to get them where the nations are pretty much intact, because this game likes to throw out these, when you're doing these random maps, they'll throw one or two random cities over in the middle of somebody else's territory, and that just drives me crazy. I mean, they're difficult to defend, and it's not very realistic. I mean, that's not how real countries operate. Their borders, most borders in most countries were developed through conquest, and you know, it's not easy to defend a lone little city in the middle of somebody's continent. You know, the borders tend to be, all the cities tend to be bunched together behind one border. So now if you look at the units here, this is the way it starts out. There's an engineer, small engineer unit on each city, and then you get the bulk of the units all look like this. They got, these are sub-formations that are in there. You got rifle, you got submachine guns, machine guns, and one mortar. And unless you have a separate city somewhere, there's probably only one headquarter. Just got to find my capital here. And you know, yeah, how does New York end up the capital of the Confederates? Yeah. Okay, so yeah, there's my Supreme HQ right there. Now, what I'm going to do is mostly this video is going to cover my initial setup. We're going to use this feature in the game right here, which is everybody just calls it the TOE. There you go, TOE designer. And basically you can design what you want. You can design as many units as you want in the game. And these are NATO symbols on here, by the way. In the regular A New Dawn 3, you can actually choose the symbols you want for these games. The nice thing about this mod is it chooses them for you, so it kind of saves you a little time right there. Okay, so we're going to use that feature. Now, also in this mod, the one thing that is different than the vanilla A New Dawn 3, and I don't think it's in the vanilla, is that it does a diplomatic block for 2 turns, which can be kind of nice, because that means nobody can do a war deck on you for the first few turns. It gives you a little time to set up. Now in the vanilla version, it is possible that no one will do a war deck on you in the first 2 turns anyway. There is an algorithm there designed into the game. I don't know exactly how it works. That let's change this here. I'm gonna color the hexes here. Yeah, there we go. I need to zoom out and zoom in here. That's gonna just kind of show you the borders here. Now this algorithm, I don't know exactly how it works, but I can tell you from experience, from playing this game many times over the years, is that these countries will, they operate off of some kind of percentage. So like every turn, there's a 10% chance they'll do a war deck, and this percentage is it's moved, either increased or decreased, based off of, I know one thing for sure is based off how many bordering hexes you have with them. The more hexes you have that border them, the greater the possibility that they're going to do a war deck on you. If they are currently in a war with somebody else already, then that decreases the possibilities they'll do a war deck on you. And there's another major factor in there too. Just can't think of right now. I think if you're in a war with someone else and you're not, then that actually increases the chance of them doing a war deck on you. Now, these have just been my observations, so exactly how that algorithm works there is something you might be able to find out if you go and you sift through the message boards on Matrix Games or something. You might find somebody who describes it in detail. But that's the gist of it. Now, first thing I need to do is I need to create some headquarters here, because I'm going to set up some armies here. My border stretches along here, and you can see in the south I'm bordering Burgundy. That's my longest border. I have a short border over here with Bahrain, and then this is also Burgundy right here. So Burgundy is, if there's anybody who's going to do an early war deck on me, it's going to be Burgundy. Burgundy's the guys I got to worry about the most. Let's see, now these guys over here, yeah, Nippon gets into it with anybody, it's probably gonna be Bahrain. And it looks like Bahrain shares a pretty sizable border with Burgundy. They do, so there's a very good possibility these two could end up going at it too. I think I'm slightly more likely to have a war deck on me from Burgundy than Bahrain is. I think they're more likely to do a war deck on me. But on the other hand, Bahrain I think is more likely to do a war deck on Burgundy than they are me, because they have so much more shared border with them. So we're going to set up some army HQs here. First of all, I'm going to go in here. I'm going to design an HQ unit. And we're going to change this here to staff, because staff is what we're going to need. Now what this thing's going to do is the game itself automatically is going to make sure, or do its best to try and keep these numbers where I set them. So I'm going to set it at 80, even though, actually I might set that at 60 right now. Even though I may not actually have enough staff produced to completely fill that for a little while. Then we're going to add another formation here. Got to have trucks in these. Trucks that are used to move around troops through your supply chain. Now, there's a lot of advantages to using this here. Your supply range and the range of units transferring around and things like that is doubled if you use this and you go through the system's organization system, as opposed to you moving them yourself manually. It also uses 1/4 of the amount of fuel to transfer these troops around. There's a lot of benefits to it. The units arrive there without losing organization, whereas if you move them yourself, they lose organization. The benefit of moving yourself is you can get in there usually a little faster but you're going to lose organization, you're going to use more fuel, and you're going to have a shorter range, and it's going to be more micromanagement for you. This reduces the micromanagement a lot, which makes a large map like I'm playing on now a lot more playable. I just love this addition. Okay, let's see. We're going to set this to, these are going to be trucks. We're going to need probably, I think I'm going to go with 6. That's more than double that we need for the staff, but the reason I have more is because these headquarter units, they are going to be, we're going to call these rifle headquarters. These headquarter units are going to be requesting troops from the Supreme HQ to reinforce the units under their command. So most of the time they're going to be carting around a lot more than just 60 staff. Later on we may actually have to increase that. And then the trucks within these HQs give it a transport capacity, the ability to make sure that all those troops get filtered out to the units under their command without any problems. Now in the vanilla game, you're able to go through and actually choose what NATO symbol you want. Like I said, in this mod, it just chooses it for me. So you could actually go in here and choose your own NATO symbols for every unit you create in the vanilla game. Now let's go ahead and we're going to keep going here. We're going to create the basic rifle unit that I'm going to use in this game. I'm going to put 35 rifle in there. And let's see, let's add some mortar to that. Okay. And then I really like to use anti-tank guns. One of those, except the mortars needs to be at 5 mortars. It's going to put the weight of the unit at 50. Now, your stack limit is at 100. You can exceed that stack limit, but yeah, it's got stack points at 45. It's actually lower. Your stack limit is at. I wonder what happens if I add the horses in. Let's try that. So we're going to want horses here. Okay, that puts the stack limit right at 50. Yeah, weight is at 50. Okay, horses. Each horse can either carry 10 infantry type units like these mortars, these rifles, or 1 gun. So you can see the carrying capacity. It can carry 50 on land, and the weight on land is 50. 55 would be the weight if you're going to be transporting it some other way, like by sea. You would need a transport that could carry more than that weight. Yeah, I think this unit is about right. That's what we want. I like to put the anti-gun in there. I think it's a better way of dealing with armored cars and especially tanks than the bazookas are. It's a rear end type weapon, so it's less likely to become a casualty. It'll build up more experience. Bazookas die a lot. And I just find it to be more effective. So that's the way we're going to set up our rifle units. Let's change the name of this. Okay. Alright, so we're going to create more units too. We're going to create some garrisons. Let's go back in here again. I'm going to create a garrison here now. Alright, did I spell that right? Yeah. Let's Okay, I'm going to change this here to SMGs. The reason I'm going to do is I'm going to use these SMGs because I start with a bunch of them, and I've looked at the terrain, and I probably am not going to use a lot of them because the terrain tends to favor rifle more. Rifle's cheaper too. SMGs cost more money to make them. They're really a specialized unit. They're really only good in like forest. They're good in urban terrain, and I think maybe swamp. I mean, they're more limited, and rifle is the preferred unit in any other type of terrain. So I probably am just not going to use them at all. I mean, later on I may use them, but they defend at exactly the same stats as rifle do. So the ones I have, I'm just going to send them into my cities as garrisons because they're going to defend just as well as a rifle would there, and I'm not going to suffer some kind of a penalty for using them in battle offensively if they're just a garrison. So I think this garrison I'm going to put at 15. Now machine gunners, I got some of those. I'm starting with 2, and I know I'm not going to be using them. They're not a unit I prefer to use very much because they're really only good at defense. They kind of suck at offense, and they die in droves, and they're very expensive. So for the same reasons, they're mainly a defensive unit. I'm going to place the ones I have now into this garrison unit, and we'll set that at about 5 because there's not as many of them. So yeah, we got basically weight at 20 here, 20 stack points. This is just going to be a small garrison unit. And creating this, what I can do is I can anywhere I want to garrison something, I can just create an icon there, a counter there, and then I can tell that counter what I want it to be, and through the automated resource system here, it's going to trickle down. Well, all the garrisons are going to be linked directly to the Supreme HQ. Supreme HQ is going to just automatically ship out 15 SMGs and 5 machine gunners if they have them, and reinforce that unit. Alright, so all these little loose engineers here, I kind of want to get them together because they work better. I prefer to have at least 30 engineers in the unit. It generates a lot more engineer points and regenerates them a lot faster that way, and I find it more useful for when I need to build factories and things of that nature. So I'm going to really merge Alright then. So I'm going to transfer. Yeah, I'll send all of those there. Okay. And then we will transfer all of these into that one. Transfer all. Alright, I'm not going to eliminate these empty shells here right now because it actually costs you money and production points if you want to create one, and I may just use that right now. See, yeah, it costs you 1 production point just to create an empty shell to put subformations in. So I'm not going to destroy these empty ones here just now. Alright, so those were easy there. There's probably an engineer here. Here's one right here. Let's see, we'll move this. It's like as far as I can go is there. That's strange, it'll go all the way over here but not to there. Can't quite make it this turn. We can combine these two though. Okay, and over here we got, let's see, we had 3 right there. There's 3 coming together right there. We got 4 cities left. I guess we're going to combine all 4 of these into one. So this one I think is just going to be a little bigger than those. Those are going to have 30 engineers. This one's going to have 40. I'll probably create an engineer an engineer design over here, and then just have it automatically manage them at some point. Let's see if we can get all these together. Won't go that far, will not. You can move. Bind. Now, there's going to be some micromanagement here in the beginning to get your initial setup going. And after that, the micromanagement is going to drop a lot using this editor or this designer here, because you're going to be able to automate a lot of that process. You just got to watch it and stay on top of it. Okay, so we got our engineers coming together. Now we need to decide. I think I need to build an army up here. And we'll build an army over here. Possible. Well, we need to build an army around this city, an army around this city. I think we just need 3 armies here right now. And then we'll work on more. Is there anything that needs to be defended down in this mess? See, I own all this territory down here too. I don't know if you can see that border right there. This territory all over here. But I don't see any resources over there. Now these resources, the oil and raw materials, you're going to need raw materials to build things. And you're going to need oil to power anything that requires petrol, gasoline to run like a tank or an aircraft or something like that. Those trucks that I'm going to be assigning to my headquarters. But I think we'll... Oh, there's a city right there too. Maybe I think we'll build 4 armies right here. Basically 1 around each city. This army can guard over here. Then this army is going to guard probably this lower area around here where these mountains are. This army will guard over here. And this army is going to come into play over here. Because we want, the first thing we really need to do is try and defend these borders here. We got 2 turns to get ready. Because after 2 turns, we could get a war deck on us from Burgundy down here at any time. I mean, it might be another, we might get lucky and it might go 1 or 2 more turns after that before they war deck, but I doubt we'll go any further than that. Alright, so we're going to create an HQ with a leader right here. Supreme HQ. This is how this headquarters is going to be attached to that headquarters. Everything is going to, this is just like the chain of command. So I'm going to be running my reinforcements. Everything's going to come into Supreme HQ. Supreme HQ is going to send them out to the subordinate HQs at their request. Whatever they request they need, they'll send it if they can, via rail or trucks. Okay, then we're going to build rivers over here. Here, 1 more right here. Okay, now I need to designate these guys. See the design I made for Rifle HQ. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to designate these guys as Rifle HQs. So now that I've designated that, it's going to request the units it needs to hit exactly what I designed it to have as far as the subformations goes, which was what was it, 60 staff and 6 trucks, I think is all I had in there for right now. Okay, now let's see. I'm going to assign. See, now these guys are so far away. The time it would take to move them over there, I probably am just going to. I might actually destroy some of these shells down here and just get rid of those units. I'll consolidate them into one and get rid of the extra shells, or leave the extra shells sitting there in case I decide to use them at some point. I might do that instead. Now, as far as the ones that are still over here, these shells, I'm going to leave one of these shells in every city because I'm going to want to garrison those cities anyway. So, like this right here, I'm going to attach him to that HQ. I will attach him to that HQ. I'm going to leave that one assigned to the Supreme HQ. And these colors are close. I'm going to change the color of the Supreme HQ to black so they really stand out from the others there. There we go. Everything still attached to Supreme HQ is black. Okay, this HQ is blue, so I guess I'm okay with that. Now we got red there, green there. Let's go maybe yellow with him. There we go. That way we can tell them apart very easily. Okay, so let's do attach there. Okay, then we're going to attach two of these guys. Same thing, we're going to attach to this. Alright, go up here, we're going to attach two of these here to this HQ. I think technically in a game they refer to one of these as a corps. I usually just call them like a division or something. And then these attachments down here, I think that's what they officially call them in the game. They call them attachments. Sometimes you might hear me refer to them as regiments or something. That's just, I don't know, the way I think of it. You can think of it any way you want. Okay, the engineers we're not messing with. Those guys are done. And then this lone one right here, I'm going to go ahead and attach him to, I guess him. That's what he's closest to. Okay. Alright, now these guys right here, we're going to go ahead and assign them as garrisons. Then the Supreme HQ is going to take out anything in that shell, in that division, any of these subformations that are not, it'll leave, for example, it's going to leave submachine guns and machine guns because it needs 5 of these, 15 of those. It's going to take out the rifle and the mortar. It's going to do all that automatically for us. Yeah, and this guy too, we're going to make him a garrison. Make him a garrison. And we'll make him a garrison. Okay, then this guy, we're going to make him rifle infantry. And rifle infantry. Rifle infantry. Rifle infantry. Make him rifle infantry. There. There. That's right? Yeah. Rifle. Okay. Now these guys, 2 of these guys we can have move over here. That HQ. Go ahead and assign them to this headquarters unit. We're also going to designate both of these as rifle infantry. Okay. This guy that's left behind, we're going to designate him as garrison. Now, as far as the rest of these guys go, let's engineer. Yeah, it's a little bit far to be moving them all the way over there. So I'm going to consolidate them. Yeah, we're going to consolidate these. Transfer all subformations. Go to this one. Transfer all subformations into there. Oh, I must have done something wrong there. Oh no, there it is. There we go. So we got 2 shells. They're all into that. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Transfer all. Okay. I think I might hold on to these empty shells right now, though. You know, I'm not going to be using them right now just because, you know, maybe I could use them to, you know, build air units or something, or if I decide I want to build an army or something down here. Just so we don't lose them for now. Alright, we're going to transfer all these subformations. And there we go. Now what I want to do is I want to, this one unit that's left here with all the pieces in, I'm going to designate that a garrison. So Supreme HQ is just going to pull out all the rifle and everything in there, and it's just going to leave in what it needs for garrison. Then these troops are just going to go Supreme HQ. Supreme HQ is going to send them over here, where I'm going to need them to build these armies. Designate that as a garrison. Okay. I got some here. We're going to do the exact same thing here. Transfer all these into there. Boy, I almost would be best off here, just transfer them all into Supreme HQ. And then just designating one of these guys as a garrison. I think I'll just transfer all this one right into Supreme HQ. There we go, and then we're just going to designate this as garrison. Okay. Yeah, we need to do these guys also. So if you've purchased this game and you're still pretty new at it, and you've been wondering what would be, you've set up this kind of random game and you've been struggling a little to try to getting some ideas on how to do your initial setup. I'm not saying my way is perfect, but it could definitely give you some ideas, or at least you can see what I'm doing, and it give you some ideas of how you would like to do it. Even if it's a little bit different, you might see something here that piques your interest. And do we designate that? No, we need to designate that too as a garrison. Okay, those are just, that's it then. Alright, now, how many we get? 54 production points. He's only got 2. Eventually I'm going to build these armies up probably where there's going to be 8 divisions, or 8 of each of these corps in each army. Now, I've designed these so they're going to sit at 50 stack points. So 2 can occupy one space and attack together or defend together, and there's not going to be a stacking penalty there. But also it leaves me the ability to spread them out more too. So I can spread them out and cover 8 hexes with them, or I can condense them down into 4 hexes, or just condense them where I need to, maybe where I need to concentrate forces at to, you know, maybe break through or attack an enemy unit or defend a spot or something like that. So what I'm going to do is we got 2 here, so we're going to build some shells around here. Quarter. That puts us at 4 now. Let's throw one up here. Throw one over here. get 6. Let's put over here. And maybe put 1. Stick. Well, we got that raw there. That's going to be pretty defendable. I'll put it right here for now. We got 6 shells there, 2 more right there. That's going to give it a total of 8. 8 attached to that HQ right there. Then all we really need to do here is we need to designate all these as rifle infantry. That way the auto reinforce ability of the game is just going to go in here, and it's going to bring those guys up to strength automatically. It's going to automatically reinforce them to their needs. Alright, so this is the same thing. We only got 2 attached here. These guys got more than that, but so we're going to add 6 shells onto him too. Okay. Definitely need to get one up here on this raw. In fact, we may need to build a garrison there. Well, we got 5. Alright, that puts him at 8. Let's add 1 more here. Oh, we have 42. Okay, we'll add 1 more formation. Attach it to Supreme HQ. This is going to be a garrison. And these guys are all going to be infantry. Infantry. Now in the beginning I focused mainly on just infantry. I got to build up some kind of an army to be able to defend myself and be at least combat ready. Eventually we are going to be adding armor into this game, and my nationality is Anglo, and every nationality has some kind of special ability or special unit they can build. And with Anglo, what I can build is right there, Rangers. So as I build armor units, I'm also going to build. I'm going to build a full mechanized army here at some point. Yeah, because it'd be useful in some areas. Anywhere where there's flat terrain, it'd be an extremely powerful unit to have. I have a lot of rough terrain around here, and I actually got a fair amount of forest down here, but there's nothing around there, so I may not fight too much in it. That's where the SMGs would do good, but mostly I got flat terrain, hills. Yeah, I could make some use of MSs. Well, look up here. I could make some use of SMGs here, but yeah, down here is just all rifle territory. Yeah, and the light forest, the SMGs don't get as nearly as much of a bonus as they do in a heavy forest, so their bonus is kind of minimal in light forest terrain. Alright, so now he's got 3 already. I don't know if this one's been assigned rifle. Yeah, that one's already been assigned. So we're going to need 5 more subformations here attached to this HQ. Right there. There we go. Now, what did I do exactly? Now we got it. I did something there. I'm ahead of myself. Alright, we need 1 more here. Stick him on this road right here. Alright, now he's got 4 assigned. Oh wait, we have to make sure if you don't assign them and tell them what they're supposed to be, they're just not going to reinforce. And we want to reinforce. We got 2 turns here to get ourselves at least somewhat battle ready. Okay, that one's already been assigned. Alright, so up here now, we need to go. Let's just build some units around him for now. He only needs 4. Okay, we're going to tell these guys to all be rifle. Okay, now that's about it there as far as what I want to do here with all these units. What I need to do now is I just need to get my production right for my initial turn. We start out with a little bit of a supply stock there. Let's bring up this here. Okay, here's all of our production cities right here. Looks like we got 10 of them. All are assigned to Supreme HQ right now, which is fine. Capital is, what is capital? Capital is New York. This is the one that's going to have the highest production, 20,000 production points. All the other cities are 8,000. So, I think maybe initially, I think I am going to build some more trains. I want to increase the, we're going to add some trucks. Well, we're going to have to build a lot of trucks here because we want to reinforce all these HQs. How many HQs did we create anyway? I think there was 4. Yeah. So we're going to need 20. We're going to need 20 trucks. So we're going to go ahead and build some more trains. And we're going to build. If we max that out here, what's that come out to? That's 18 trucks. We're going to need 20 trucks. Now we're going to have to stay under that 300 because that's what we're sitting on. We're only producing 120 raw right now. Whenever you produce any kind of heavy equipment, these trains are very expensive. In fact, I just cut, yeah, did you see that? Dropped almost 50 points by not taking off 2 trains. It's probably, I think we're holding 6 already. 4 more trains. I think this is going to give Supreme HQ 10 trains. That's a lot of there we just hit our 20 trucks. So any extra trucks we got, we're going to go in here. We're going to want to have some extra trucks in the Supreme HQ too, because trains are only good for transporting across rail. If we take one of these HQs and we have it off the rail right here, the trains aren't going to be able to get to it without some additional transport capacity from trucks. So we're going to need some trucks in the Supreme HQ also. Yeah, so, and we do, let's go to the top here. We're going to want a little supply here. Maybe go half of that. I'm not sure how many rifle we're going to need, but I know we're going to need more rifle. And there's 80 rifle there. We are going to also need some staff for these HQs. So maybe use 2 of these cities just dedicated to producing staff. Okay. Then let's make some more rifle. That's quite a few rifle right now. I don't know how many we're going to need. We're going to definitely need more mortars though. Mortars are going to use raw material, so max that out. Okay, we're still under our 300, so let's make, he's going to produce mortars too. We're going to need some horses. We got to pull around those guns we're eventually going to be producing. So they're going to be here. Okay, there we go. It's better. Okay. So now we're producing 80 horses, 32 mortar, 160 staff, 200 rifle, 21 trucks. I actually wanted more trucks than that, but that'll do for now. 4 additional trains. We're under that. I'm not going to worry about producing more production points just yet, but we are definitely going to need to make some factories. But the first couple turns, I might not put much focus on that at all. Mainly, I just want to get units. I need to get men out there in those shells on the line, ready to fight by turn 3 because they might have to. And we are ready to end this first turn. Yeah, we're ready to end it. Let's see what happens here. Here the AIs are contemplating their moves. That guy's moved up to the board. That's Burgundy right there. I'm pretty sure they're going to end up doing a war deck on me. Alright. There's not much. This doesn't really show anything because there was no combat. It would tell you like how many losses and stuff he had here. But regulations are unblocked. Okay, it only blocked it for 1 turn. Alright, so I could have war deck on me next turn then. Alright, let's have a look here. These HQs, yeah, look at all the they're calling in for a whole lot of rifle to try and reinforce all those empty units. Which by next turn, oh, hopefully we don't have a war deck on us now. That was supposed to be a 2-turn on that. I wonder why I got messed up. Additional 270 rifles. See now, see how we got SMGs here and machine gunners? It's because the auto reinforce here is pulled those out of these units here. Like these guys right here, it just pulled them out of there, and then it's going to be using them to reinforce these guys right here, all these garrisons. Yeah. Alright, we need to get this. Well, I think what we're going to do here now is I think we're going to wrap this video up now, and then the next video we'll go on to the next turn. We'll probably get here in a couple turns once we get some of this initial micromanagement out of the way for the initial setup. We'll probably be able to squeeze a couple turns into one video, but I think this is just going to be a wrap on this first video here. Yeah, and next turn is going to start to reinforce these guys. Hopefully we can go by at least 1 more turn before they do a war deck, and I can start to prepare on that. It was supposed to be a 2-turn pass on that, and I don't know why it's unblocked already, but it is what it is. We'll figure it out. Okay, we're going to wrap it up here.